Hi everyone, Darren Glover from Evolution Advisors. Just giving you an update on last night's budget. I'm going to have a look at what was in the budget, primarily from a tax and a business point of view. I think everyone's well aware of what the headlines of the budget were last night. They've been well documented in the newspapers and on the television over the last 24 hours. So I'll spend some time having a look at some of the tax changes. There's not a lot. There's going to be a white paper that's been commissioned by the government that'll go through tax reform issues, and I think that'll have a lot more tax reform suggestions in it when that does come out later on this year, we hope. So I'll have a look at some of the impacts on personal taxpayers initially, and then we'll have a look at some of the impact on business taxation. For the personal taxpayers, a budget deficit levy has been introduced of 2%. And that's going to kick in from 1st of July 2014, and that combined with an increase in the Medicare levy, 1.5 to 2%, means the top marginal tax rate is going to go to 49%, and that's going to be for those people earning in excess of $180,000 in the financial year. In addition to that, most of the dependent offsets have been abolished. And one of particular interest is the mature age worker offset. It's also been abolished, and it used to relate to people who were over 55 working and earning less than $63,000 a year. They could receive a mature age worker offset, which amounted to up to $500. So unfortunately that one's gone. And for superannuation, a really good change, a good initiative is an option to withdraw excess non-concessional super contributions. In the past, if you'd exceeded your non-concessional super contribution cap, you're going to be paying 47 cents in the dollar on the contribution. You now have the option to be able to withdraw any excess non-concessional super contributions, which obviously then makes a significant difference to having to pay 47%. The super guarantee rate for those employers amongst us, keep in mind that that's going to go up to 9.5% from 1st of July 2014. For those of you in business, there's not a huge amount impacting on you out of last night's budget. A few changes, primary ones I'll go through now. Reduction in the company tax rate from 30% to 28.5%. That's not due to kick in until 1st of July 2015, so we've got a little while to wait for that one. The FBT rate has gone up to 49%, and that is in line with the increased top marginal tax rate that's going to apply once you add the new Medicare levy and the deficit tax on top of that. So FBT rate goes to 49%, and where possible, you're best to cash out of that by making an employee contribution. In addition, the small to medium entities are entitled to a write-off for any assets that have been acquired under $6,500. Now, that write-off was going to be repealed as part of a government change to remove the carbon tax. The legislation that incorporates the small business write-off was part of the carbon tax measures. Now, the government attempted to repeal that back on, or early in the year, from 1st of January 2014. That didn't get through the Senate at that stage. At this point in time, as far as we're aware, we're still able to take advantage of those write-offs. However, if that legislation subsequently passes through the Senate after the 1st of July 2014, it may still be repealed. So we're in the dark a little bit about our ability to access that. As far as we know, you can still get the small business write-off where your turnover is less than $2 million and the asset you've acquired is less than $6,500. That also applies to motor vehicles, and the first $5,000 of the motor vehicle purchase is also allowed to be written off upfront. But again, comes with the same uncertainty at this point in time until we know what's happening with the repeal of the carbon tax. Additionally, there's been a small reduction of 1.5% in the R&D tax offset, and in relation to the fuel excise duty, that is now going to increase in line with CPI from 1st of August this year. That means it's very important to keep your logbooks up to date, make sure they're accurate, and that we can get the tax deductions for the fuel that you're consuming as part of your business motor vehicle expenses. Just a footnote, the diesel fuel rebate levies remain in place and stay as they are. For those of you that are farmers or those of you that run heavy vehicles, you're still going to be able to access the same diesel fuel rebate levies that are currently in place. So all in all, that's a brief snapshot of what is going to impact on personal and business taxpayers out of last night's budget, and we will have a more detailed summary up on our website later on today for those of you that want to find out a little bit more.